Welcome you all for the presentation on topic internal combustion engines. This topic is included in the module 3 of subject elements of mechanical engineering. Contents to be discussed in this presentation are: what is an IC engines, what are the important classifications, terminology associated with internal combustion engines, construction and working of 4-stroke petrol and diesel engines. Let us look into what is a heat engine. Heat engine is a prime mover which can convert heat energy into mechanical energy. Basically, heat engine is a prime mover. What is a prime mover? Prime mover is a self-moving device which can convert available natural source of energy into mechanical energy. Here, two forms of energy you can see that one is heat energy and the other is mechanical energy. Heat energy can be converted into mechanical energy with the help of a prime mover. This prime mover we can call it as heat engine. Therefore, we can define heat engine as a prime mover which can convert heat energy obtained by the combustion of fuel into mechanical energy. Let us look into what are the important classifications of heat engines. Basically, heat engines are classified into two types such as internal combustion engines and external combustion engines. Let us consider a cylinder. Suppose the combustion of fuel taking place inside the engine cylinder. When the combustion of fuel taking place inside the engine cylinder, it releases the heat energy. This heat energy can be converted into mechanical energy. Such an engine we can call it as internal combustion engine. Suppose the combustion of fuel taking place outside the engine cylinder, and this heat energy, when it is liberated due to combustion of fuel, can be used to convert it into mechanical energy. Such an engine we can call it as external combustion engines. The basic difference between internal combustion engines and external combustion engines is that suppose the combustion of fuel taking place inside the engine cylinder and the heat energy can be converted into mechanical energy. Such an engine we can call it as internal combustion engine. Suppose the combustion of fuel taking place outside the engine cylinder, then we call such kind of the engine as external combustion engines. Examples for internal combustion engines are petrol engine, diesel engines, etc. Examples for external combustion engines are steam engines, steam turbines, etc. So, we know what is a heat engine. Heat engine is a prime mover which can convert heat energy into mechanical energy. Let us define internal combustion engine. Internal combustion engine can be defined as heat engine which can convert heat energy obtained by the combustion of fuel which is taking place inside the engine cylinder into mechanical energy in the form of rotary motion. That is the definition of internal combustion engines. Let us look into what are the important classifications of internal combustion engines. Internal combustion engines can be classified into so many ways. Based on the type of the fuel used, we can make the classification of IC engines. Based on thermodynamic principle or the principle of working, IC engines can be classified. Based on the number of strokes which are required to run the engine, they may be classified. Then based on the position of cylinder, IC engines can be classified, and based on the method of cooling, they may be classified. So many parameters we can use to make the classification of IC engines, such as fuel used, thermodynamic principle, number of strokes which are required, position of cylinder, method of cooling, ignition. Based on ignition, they may be classified, and based on the number of cylinders which are used in IC engines, they may be classified. Based on the type of the fuel used, they may be classified as petrol engine, diesel engine, gas engine, biofuel engine. Based on the type of the fuel used, these are the classifications. Then, based on the thermodynamic principle, they may be classified as Otto cycle engines, diesel cycle engines. This Otto cycle engine is also known as constant volume heat addition cycle. Diesel cycle engine is also known as constant pressure heat addition cycle. Based on the number of strokes which are required to run the engine, they may be classified as 4-stroke engine and 2-stroke engine. Then based on the position of cylinders, how the cylinder is mounted, based on that they may be classified as horizontal, vertical, radial, V-type and inline type. These are all the classifications based on the position of cylinder. Suppose the cylinder is mounted horizontally, then we can call it as horizontal engine. Suppose the cylinder is mounted vertically, then we can call it as vertical engine. Radially, suppose the cylinders are mounted radially, then we can call it as radial engine. Like that, based on the position of cylinders, the IC engines can be classified as like this. Then based on the method of cooling, they may be classified as air cooling engines and water cooling engines. Okay, based on the method of cooling, these are the important classifications. Now, based on the method of ignition, they may be classified as SI engines, it means spark ignition engines, and compression ignition engines, CI engines. So these classification based on method of ignition. Based on number of cylinders which are used in internal combustion engines, then they may be classified as single cylinder and multi-cylinder engine. Suppose only one cylinder we use, then we can call it a single cylinder engine. Suppose more than one cylinder we use, then we can call it as multi-cylinder engine. Example, suppose we use 2 cylinders, then we can call it as double cylinder engine or 2-cylinder engine. Suppose we use 3 cylinders, then of course that will says about the number of cylinders which are used in the classification of IC engines, single cylinder and then multi-cylinder engines. These are all some of the important classifications of IC engines. Let us look into parts of IC engine. What are the important parts of IC engines? Important parts of IC engines are cylinder, piston. So this portion we can call it as cylinder. That is one of the component. Second component is piston. Third component is connecting rod. Fourth component is crank. Next component is crankshaft, valves, inlet valve and then exhaust valve, piston rings. These are all some of the important components of IC engines. Let us discuss these parts of IC engines. The first part of the IC engine is cylinder. Cylinder is one of the main component of internal combustion engine because the combustion of fuel taking place inside the engine cylinder. The second component is piston. When the power is developed inside the engine cylinder, that is transmitted from this engine cylinder to the crankshaft with the help of this piston, connecting rod and then crank. Piston is one more important component of the IC engine. it is a hollow cylindrical plunger which will reciprocate inside the engine cylinder. Next one component is connecting rod. It is a link. It has two ends. One end is smaller and the other end is bigger. Smaller end of the connecting rod is connected to piston. The other end, so the bigger end is connected to crank. The rectilinear movement of the piston will be converted into rotary motion with the help of this connecting rod and then crank. Crank is a lever. It has two ends. One end of the crank is connected to bigger end of the connecting rod. The other end is connected to crank shaft. That is the arrangement of the crank. Next, piston rings. Piston rings are the metallic rings which are fitted onto the grooves provided on the top surface of the circumferential surface of the piston. So grooves are provided at the top portion of the circumferential portion of the piston. In these grooves, these metallic rings are fitted. The function of the piston rings, it will act as airtight, means it cannot pass the whatever the fluid which is present in the cylinder to the outside. It acts as a gas tight. Second function is it transfer the heat from the cylinder to the piston. So these are the two important functions of the piston rings. Next component is inlet valve and exhaust valve. So two valves are there. One we can call it as inlet valve, the other one we can call it as exhaust valve. These two valves are operated by means of cam. So cam is a mechanical element which can open or closes this inlet and then exhaust valve when it is required. So these are all some of the important parts of IC engine. So one more component as you see in this diagram, that is flywheel. Flywheel is a bigger wheel which is mounted on the crankshaft. The function of the flywheel is to maintain uniform torque or uniform motion of the engine when it is running, and also it stores the energy. I hope you are clear about the parts of IC engines. Let us discuss some of the definitions of IC engines, the terminology of IC engines. First term is that bore. Bore can be defined as inner diameter of engine cylinder. So please see this diagram. This is the cylinder. Inner diameter of the engine cylinder we can call it as bore. So this is we can call it as bore. Inner diameter of the engine cylinder we can call it as bore. That is the definition of bore. Next, second one is that stroke. The second is stroke. Stroke can be defined as linear distance traveled by piston. So in the diagram you can see that this is the piston. The movement of the piston from one end to other end, because in the cylinder we can have two ends. This end we can call it as cover end and the lower one we can call it as crank end. So what is this cover end? The extreme position of the piston near to cover. This is cover. So the extreme position of the piston near to cover we can call it as cover end. The extreme position of the piston near to crank. This is the crank. Near to crank we can call it as crank end. Therefore we can have two ends such as cover end and then crank end. The distance or the linear distance traveled by the piston from cover end to crank end or from crank end to cover end we can call it as stroke. STROKE, stroke. So that is denoted by capital L. Bore is denoted by capital D, that is inner diameter of the engine cylinder. Stroke is denoted by capital L. Okay, this is the movement of the piston from cover end to crank end, or from crank end to cover end. The linear distance traveled by the piston we can call it as stroke. Okay. Then of course we define cover end. The extreme position of the piston near to cover we can call it as cover end. Similarly, the extreme position of the piston near to crank we call it as crank end. One more term is that compression ratio. It can be defined as total volume to clearance volume. So let us see this diagram. Of course, this is the cylinder. So we know the volume of the cylinder. So suppose the piston is at cover end. The volume of the cylinder above the piston we can call it as clearance volume. So clearance volume is nothing but the volume above the piston we can call it as volume of the cylinder above the piston we can call it as clearance volume. Below that we can call it as swept volume. It means when the piston is near to cover end, the remaining, when the piston is travels from cover end to crank end, that is the swept volume. So the remaining volume is the swept volume, that is denoted by Vs, V suffix S, swept volume. Clearance volume is denoted by V suffix C. Therefore, total volume of the cylinder is Vc plus Vs. That is the total volume of the cylinder. Compression ratio can be defined as total volume to the clearance volume. Therefore, compression ratio can be written as Vc plus Vs dividing by Vc. That is the compression ratio. Then, of course, we define what is clearance volume. Volume above the piston when it is at cover end. We can call it as clearance volume. And one more definition is that piston speed. So it can be defined as the total distance traveled by a piston in unit time with respect to time. So the movement of the piston from cover end to crank end or from crank end to cover end, the total distance traveled by a piston in unit time we can call it as piston speed. It is given by 2 into L into N. L is nothing but the stroke, N is nothing but the revolutions per minute RPM. So therefore piston speed is given by 2 into L into N. So I hope you are all clear about the definitions of IC engines such as bore, stroke, cover end, crank end, compression ratio, clearance volume, then piston speed. Let us look into construction and working of 4-stroke petrol engine. So here we need to discuss about constructional details and working of 4-stroke petrol engine. So here regarding the construction we need to say about what are the components of the system or engine and how these parts are arranged. So that we should have to say. So what are the components of this engine? Cylinder is one of the component. Second is valves, connecting rod, piston, crank and then crankshaft. These are some of the important components of the IC engine. Then to say about working of this engine, we should have to use some of the words such as it works on Otto cycle or constant volume heat addition cycle. That is one of the point. Second point is that it is a SI engine, means spark ignition engine. 4-stroke petrol engine is a spark ignition engine. Compression ratio of this engine is 1:7 to 1:11. It requires 4 strokes such as suction, working, exhaust and then expansion to complete one working cycle of the engine. Let us discuss this construction and working of this 4-stroke petrol engine with the help of this diagram here. Okay, two diagrams are there. This diagram is related to theoretical Otto cycle, and this diagram is related to what are the important strokes which are required to run the engine. Okay, so of course when you see this diagram here, under this diagram it has been represented as suction stroke, then compression stroke, and this is working stroke, and this one is exhaust stroke. As I said earlier, we need to discuss about constructional details as well as working of this 4-stroke petrol engine. Let us discuss constructional details of this engine. 4-stroke petrol engine consists of a cylinder. So this is the cylinder part. 4-stroke petrol engine consists of a cylinder, one end fitted with cover, whereas the other end left open. So it consists of a cylinder with one end fitted with cover, other end left open. At the cover end, two openings are provided. These two openings are operated by means of valves. The valve which operates the inlet, we can call it as the inlet valve. The valve which operates the exhaust, we can call it as exhaust valves. These two valves are operated by means of cam mechanism. Piston fitted inside the engine cylinder. It will reciprocate in the engine cylinder. It is a hollow cylindrical plunger. Connecting rod is a link which has two ends. One end of the connecting rod is connected to piston, whereas the other end, bigger end, is connected to crank. So crank is a lever. It has two ends. One end of the crank is connected to bigger end of the connecting rod, whereas the other end is connected to crankshaft. The linear movement of this piston can be converted into rotary motion with the help of this connecting rod and then crank. In case of 4-stroke petrol engine, at the cover end, one more important component is fitted. That one we can call it as spark plug here. Spark plug is fitted at the cover end of the engine cylinder. So these are all the details about the construction of 4-stroke petrol engine. Let us discuss the working of this engine, means 4-stroke petrol engine, how this engine will works. This 4-stroke petrol engine works on theoretical Otto cycle. It is also known as constant volume heat addition cycle. Okay, I will explain what is this AB, BC, CD, DE and EB, of course BA, as and when I am going to explain about these strokes. Okay, so first we shall explain the suction stroke. So in the working of 4-stroke petrol engine, you need to say like this: it works on theoretical Otto cycle. Of course, here it is also known as constant volume heat addition cycle. 4 strokes are required to complete one working cycle. It means 4 strokes are required, such as suction stroke, compression stroke, working stroke, and then exhaust stroke. So let us begin with the suction stroke. At the beginning of this stroke, inlet valve is open, exhaust valve is closed. As you see this diagram, inlet valve is open and the exhaust valve is closed. The piston moves from cover end to crank end. It means it travels from cover end to crank end. When the piston travels from cover end to crank end, the volume of the engine cylinder increases. So in this theoretical diagram, you can notice that when the piston is near to the cover end, the volume of the cylinder is V1. When the piston travels from cover end to crank end, the volume of the cylinder increases. that is shown as V2. So that is increase in volume from V1 to V2. That is represented here, V1 and then V2. So when the piston travels from cover end to crank end, inside the cylinder, pressure goes on decreasing here. So due to the pressure difference between inside the engine cylinder and atmospheric, the pressure difference is set up. Due to this pressure difference, petrol and air mixture through the carburetor enter into the engine cylinder during this stroke. So that we have represented in this theoretical cycle as AB. AB line that indicates the suction stroke of the engine. So during this stroke, the crank completes half rotation. It means it rotates only 180-degree rotation during this stroke here. Okay. So that is about the suction stroke. Suction, S-U-C-T-I-O-N. It means the petrol and air mixture that will be drawn into the engine cylinder during this stroke here. Okay. So let us move to see the compression stroke. At the beginning of this compression stroke, both the valves such as inlet and then exhaust are closed here. As you see this diagram, both inlet and then exhaust, they are closed. The piston travels from crank end to cover end. So in the suction stroke, the piston travels from cover end to crank end. Okay, but in case of the compression stroke, the piston travels from crank end to cover end. Already the petrol and air mixture that has been drawn into the engine cylinder. Due to the movement of the piston from crank end to cover end, the petrol and air mixture will get compressed here. It means it increases the petrol and air mixture pressure. So the compression ratio is 1:7 to 1:11. That is the compression ratio during this stroke in case of petrol engines. Okay, so in the theoretical cycle, this has been represented by the line BC. This is the curve. BC curve will indicate the increase in pressure of the petrol and air mixture inside the engine cylinder. At the end of this, of course, during this stroke, the crankshaft completes one more half rotation. Here during the suction stroke, it completes half rotation. During the compression stroke, another half rotation that will complete here. Okay. So at the end of this stroke, spark plug fitted at the top and cover end of the engine cylinder initiate the combustion process. Means it starts the combustion of petrol and air mixture. So that we can represent in this theoretical Otto cycle, that is C to D. At constant volume, the heat addition has been given to the engine cylinder because of the combustion of fuel which has been taking place inside the engine cylinder. Okay, so when the combustion of fuel taking place, of course, at the end of this stroke, that will happen. So coming to the third stroke, such as working stroke. During this stroke, of course, both the valves such as inlet and then exhaust are closed here. Because of the combustion process, the fuel releases the heat energy. It means the heat energy that develops a pressure. That pressure acts on the top of the piston. So because of high pressure exerted onto the top of the piston travels from cover end to crank end. Therefore, during this stroke, we can say that work has been done on the piston to move the piston from cover end to crank end. Therefore, we can call this stroke as working stroke or power stroke. Means power is developed during this stroke here. Okay. During this stroke, crankshaft completes one more half rotation. So in the suction stroke, half rotation. In the compression stroke, one more half rotation. During the working stroke, of course, one more half rotation. 1.5 cycle. Okay. 1.5 rotation of the crankshaft. So, of course, during this working stroke, the piston will travel from cover end to crank end. So at the end of this stroke, the inlet valve is closed and exhaust valve is opened. So due to that, high pressure gases that will be released through this exhaust valve. Okay. So here of course D2E line will indicate the representation of the working stroke. So when the piston travels from cover end to crank end, the pressure goes on reducing here. So that has been shown in this curve D2E. At the end of this stroke, as I said that the exhaust valve is open, the high pressure gas that will be expelled through this exhaust valve here. So that we can represent in this diagram E to B. Okay. So the piston will move from crank end to cover end. Therefore, the remaining low pressure gases that will be expelled through this exhaust valve. Okay, so that we can represent here B to A. So that will indicate. So that is the movement of the piston from crank end to cover end. So volume of course goes on reducing here, and at the same time the low pressure gases will be expelled through this exhaust valve. So that we have represented in this line B to A. So during this stroke also the crankshaft will complete one more half rotation. Therefore totally 4, of course here half rotation, one more half rotation, half rotation, one more half rotation. It means 2 revolutions of the crankshaft will takes place to complete one working cycle of the IC engine in case of this 4-stroke petrol engine. Okay, so at the end of this compression stroke, as I said that the spark plug fitted at the top of the engine cylinder initiate the combustion process. Therefore, we can call this kind of the engine as spark ignition engine because the spark plug fitted at the cover end initiate the combustion process. Therefore, we can call this kind of the engine as spark ignition engine. Okay, so totally 4 strokes are required to complete one working cycle. Therefore, we call this kind of the engine as 4-stroke engine. So it is 4-stroke engine, and of course it is petrol engine. Petrol engine, the reason is that the type of the fuel used is the petrol. So in the headline we have given it as construction and working of 4-stroke petrol engine. So how many strokes are required here? Totally 4 strokes are required to complete one working cycle of the engine. Since 4-stroke engines will have high load carrying capacity compared to 2-stroke engine, they are used in passenger car, etc. For such kind of applications we can use this kind of the engines. So I hope you are all clear about the construction and working of 4-stroke petrol engine. So you should have to explain this concept with the help of this theoretical Otto cycle as well as using these diagrams such as suction stroke diagram, compression, working, and then exhaust. Let us look into construction and working of 4-stroke diesel engine. So here also two things are there. One is constructional data of engine as well as working of this 4-stroke diesel engine. So in earlier we have discussed about 4-stroke petrol engine. Now we are going to discuss about 4-stroke diesel engine. Only the difference is the type of the fuel used. In case of the earlier one we use the petrol as the fuel. So in this one we are using diesel as the fuel. So here also 4 strokes are required such as suction stroke, compression stroke, working stroke, and then exhaust stroke. Totally 4 strokes are required. So that we have shown in this diagram: suction, compression, working, and then exhaust. But it works on theoretical diesel cycle. Theoretical diesel cycle. Petrol engine works on theoretical Otto cycle, whereas diesel engine works on theoretical diesel cycle. It is also known as constant pressure heat addition cycle. In case of petrol engine, it works on theoretical Otto cycle. also known as constant volume heat addition cycle, but whereas in case of the 4-stroke diesel engine, it works on diesel cycle, also known as constant pressure heat addition cycle. So here we have shown that theoretical diesel cycle, of course pressure and then volume. Along the x-axis we have shown the volume, along the y-axis we have shown the pressure. Okay, so theoretical diesel cycle, and of course the diagram which are related with respect to suction, compression, working and then exhaust are shown here. So let us make the discussion about the constructional details of this engine. 4-stroke diesel engine, it consists of cylinder, as similar to that of the 4-stroke petrol engine. It also consists of a cylinder with one end fitted with cover, whereas the other end left open. Two openings are provided at the top end of the cylinder. These two openings are known as inlet and then exhaust. The valve which operates the inlet we can call it as inlet valve, and the valve which operates the exhaust we can call it as exhaust valve. These two valves are operated by means of cam mechanism. The piston fitted inside the engine cylinder, that is the reciprocating movement. The reciprocating movement of the piston can be converted into rotary motion with the help of this connecting rod and then crank. So connecting rod is a link. It has two ends. Smaller end of the connecting rod is connected to piston. The bigger end is connected to crank. Another component is crank. It is a lever. It has two ends. One end is connected to bigger end of the connecting rod. The other end is connected to crankshaft. At the top end of the cylinder or at the cover end of the engine cylinder, fuel injector is fitted here. Just to recall that in case of 4-stroke petrol engine, at the cover end spark plug is fitted, but whereas in this case 4-stroke diesel engine, fuel injector is fitted here. So the function of the spark plug is to initiate the combustion process, but the function of the fuel injector is to inject the fuel into the engine cylinder. So that will make the spray of diesel oil into the engine cylinder. It will not initiate the combustion process, or it is not the igniter. Instead of that, just it will spray the diesel oil into the engine cylinder. So that is the difference between petrol and then diesel engine. Just to remember that in case of petrol engine, we use spark plug to initiate the combustion process, but in case of the diesel engine, at the cover end we use the fuel injector. The function of the fuel injector is to inject the fine quality of the diesel into the engine cylinder. Okay, so these are all some of the details regarding the construction of 4-stroke diesel engine. The constructional details of 4-stroke petrol and then diesel engine is similar, only the two differences you can note down, that is in case of petrol engine, spark plug is fitted at the cover end. In case of diesel engine, fuel injector is fitted at the cover end. In case of petrol engine, petrol and air mixture that will be drawn into the engine cylinder during the suction stroke. In case of diesel engine, only the air is drawn into the engine cylinder. These two are the important differences between petrol and then diesel engine. Okay, so let us look into working of 4-stroke diesel engine. How this engine will works. It requires 4 strokes such as suction, compression, working and then exhaust. So it works on theoretical diesel cycle, also known as constant pressure heat addition cycle. So let us begin with suction stroke. During this stroke, inlet valve is open, exhaust valve is closed. The piston travels from cover end to crank end. So when the piston is traveling from cover end to crank end, the pressure inside the engine cylinder goes on reducing here. Initially, the volume of the piston is V1, when the piston is moves towards the crank end, the volume of the piston will be V2. When there is increase in the volume of the engine cylinder, the pressure inside the engine cylinder will be low than the atmospheric pressure. Due to that, the pressure difference is set up. So because of the pressure difference, only the air, clean air through the filter, that will be drawn into the engine cylinder. Just please recall that in case of petrol engine, during the suction stroke, petrol as well as air mixture, that will be drawn into the engine cylinder. But in this diesel engine, during the suction stroke, only air through the air filter, that will be drawn into the engine cylinder during this suction stroke. So that has been shown in this diagram. A to B, that is increase in volume of the engine cylinder. So that is during this stroke, the air is drawn into the engine cylinder. During this stroke, the crankshaft completes of rotation. Okay, that is about the suction stroke. Let us move to see the compression stroke here. Okay, during this stroke, both inlet and then exhaust are closed. Already the air is drawn into the engine cylinder. The piston will travel from crank end to cover end. Okay, when the piston is traveling from crank end to cover end, whatever the air which has been present inside the engine cylinder, that will be compressed. Here the compression ratio is higher than the petrol engine. In case of petrol engine, the compression ratio is 1:7 to 1:11. But in this diesel engine, the air is compressed to the compression ratio of 1:20, 20 to 22. Okay, 1:20 to 22. That is the compression ratio. High compression ratio in this engine. Okay, so that we have shown in this theoretical diesel cycle. B to C, it indicates the increase in pressure of the air inside the engine cylinder. Okay, at the end of this stroke, of course during this stroke also the crankshaft completes one more of rotation. At the end of this stroke, the air will attain a temperature higher than the ignition temperature of the diesel oil. Okay, the air will have the ignition temperature, higher ignition temperature than the ignition temperature of the diesel oil. So at the end of this compression stroke, fuel injector inject or sprays the fine quantity of diesel into the engine cylinder here. Due to that, already the air is at higher ignition temperature. As soon as the diesel oil is sprayed into the engine cylinder, the combustion process will take place here. Therefore, this kind of the engine we can call it as CI engine, compression ignition engine, because of hot air or the air which is at high ignition temperature initiate the combustion process. Highly compressed air initiate the combustion process. Therefore, we can call this kind of the engine as compression ignition engine. Let us just recall, in case of the petrol engine, spark plug fitted at the cover end initiate the combustion process. Therefore, that petrol engine we can call it as SI engine. But whereas here in case of the diesel engine, highly compressed air initiate the combustion process. Therefore, we can call it as compression ignition engine. Okay. So, when the combustion process takes place, it releases the heat energy. So during the working stroke, of course, at the beginning of the working stroke, the high pressure gases which are released during the combustion process that exert pressure on the top of the piston. Therefore, it causes the piston to move from cover end to crank end here. So we can say that the work is done by the piston during this stroke here. So because of the movement of the piston from cover end to crank end. So during this stroke, the crankshaft will complete one more of rotation. During this stroke, both inlet and then exhaust valve are closed here. Okay, so at the end of this compression stroke, we have shown this as CD line. At constant pressure only, the heat addition has been taking place inside the engine cylinder here. So during the working stroke, as the piston travels from cover end to crank end, the pressure inside the engine cylinder goes on reducing. That we can note down in this theoretical Otto cycle such as D2E line. Okay. Next, at the end of this working stroke, the piston will traverse from crank end to cover end. Of course, during this stroke, inlet valve is closed, whereas the exhaust valve is open. High pressure burnt gases that will be expelled through this exhaust valve. So that we have represented in this diagram, EB line, that will indicate. Next, when the piston travels from crank end to cover end, the remaining low pressure gases that will be expelled through this exhaust valve here. So that we have shown in this diagram B2A. Okay. During this stroke, the crankshaft will complete one more half rotation. Okay. So these are all the details which are related with respect to the working of 4-stroke diesel engine. I hope you are clear about the construction as well as working of this 4-stroke diesel engine. Here it requires 4 strokes such as suction, compression, working and then exhaust. Therefore we can call this kind of the engine as 4-stroke engine. And of course the type of the fuel used is diesel. Therefore we can call it as diesel engine. And also it works on theoretical diesel cycle. So these are some of the points such as suction, compression, working, exhaust, CI engine. Why this is CI engine? Because highly compressed air initiate the combustion process. Then diesel cycle, it works on theoretical diesel cycle or constant pressure iteration cycle. Okay, so during the suction stroke, crankshaft completes half rotation. During the compression stroke, one more half rotation. During this working stroke, one more half rotation. And of course, in the exhaust stroke also, one more half rotation. It means 2 revolution of the crankshaft completes 1 working cycle. So therefore, power is developed in every alternate revolution of the crankshaft. So 4-stroke diesel engines are having high load carrying capacity, and of course they are used in high power applications such as they are used in heavy vehicles such as it may be truck, lorry or buses like that. That is about the construction and working of 4-stroke diesel engine. So let us summarize what we have discussed in this presentation. First, we have discussed about what is an heat engine, what are the important classifications of heat engines, what is an IC engine, what are the important classifications of IC engines, what are the important parts of IC engine such as cylinder, piston, connecting rod, crank, etc. Then construction and working of 4-stroke petrol engine. Finally, the construction and working of 4-stroke diesel engine. So these are all the things we have learnt in this presentation. I hope all of you are clear about this presentation. Okay, thank you. Thank you for watching.